within a simple expression. And we can use these case expressions anywhere we can use an expression. Whether the expression is simply here for a column output, someplace else for a conditional test, case expressions are great. I often teach that we should kill the cursor, that cursors or iterative code, that's just a bad thing in almost all cases. However, even if developers understand that cursors are slow and cursors cause problems, when the requirements become complex, they tend to still write cursors because they don't understand how to work around that complexity and build a solution that is set-based. This is one of the most powerful tools to build complex logic within a set-based solution, which is simply the case expression. There's two forms of the case expression. For this demo, we're going to move over to the OBX-Kites database. In the first form of the case expression, the code is to say case, then the end ends that case. Within the case, this is the value that's being tested. When that value is equal to 1, then the expression will return the default type. When that value is equal to 0, it will return alternate. Otherwise, when it's neither 1 nor 0, the else is returned. So to walk through this query using the logical flow, it begins with a from, so this pulls all the rows from the data type. It then returns the customer type name, the actual column of default, then the third column, notice the comma there separating it. The third column is the entire case expression. So for every row, the case expression is going to see what is in the default column. If it's a 1, the case expression returns default type. If it's a 0, it returns alternate. If it's neither a 1 nor a 0, it will return a dash, and it will assign status as the title or the name of that column. So let's execute this and see what we get. And sure enough, this is a 0 changed to alternate, 0 changed to alternate, and a 1 assigned as a default type by that line right here. The other thing I want to point out about select is that as it goes through the list of conditions, it starts at the beginning and just goes down. The first one that's true, it hits it, and then moves on to the next row, which is different than some other languages. And speaking of other languages, the cool thing about case is that it happens inside of an expression. It's not logical flow of control like a case statement would be in other languages. So that's the simple case expression. Now let me show you the Boolean case expression. And I'm going to open this up. The Boolean case, instead of saying, here's our value, let's test for it, you have a full complete Boolean condition. And you can list out as many of these as you want to. So it's going to be case when a Boolean condition, something equals something, then return this other expression. And remember, expressions can be built. So expression can be some other formula. It can be very complicated. Here's an example from Kill the Cursor. And let me scroll this up, show you as much as I possibly can of this case expression. The Kill the Cursor is a test that I do where I take a complex business logic and I solve it 7 different ways. I'll show you this later on as we're talking about cursors in the T-SQL code. But I wanted to jump over there now and show you this case expression. It's a complex, real-world case expression. So in this solution, we're looking at the detail table, setting the adjusted amount to, here's a multiplier, times a multiplier, times, and then case is coming in here and providing the rest of that formula in a case-by-case basis. When these conditions are true, then this will be the rest of the formula that's plugged in. If that's not true, then when these conditions are true, they'll be plugged in. Otherwise, if formula equals 2, then this is the formula being plugged in to the rest of this formula up top. And the last condition here supplies amount times base multiplier. So this is a complex example of how you can do some creative things with case, the Boolean form of case, to build complex business logic into a single set-based query. And you'll be amazed at how fast this executes when we get to the Kill the Cursor section in our T-SQL code.